socialize and get to know people and just enjoy the time here. And I wanted to introduce Miss Kat Howard. She's going to be one of our speakers tonight, or our speaker tonight. And she wrote a little bio, so I'm going to read it, and excuse me if I stutter. I'm a little bit nervous, and I can't really see it, so I'm going to put on my old lady goggles here. So, Kat Howard, she comes originally from Northern Connecticut and went to college at Washington University in St. Louis, where she studied art history, Arabic, that's kind of random, and photography. She followed up with an associate's degree from Parsons, the New School for Design in New York City. That's pretty cool. That's fun. That's Runway, right? Project Runway, that's pretty cool. Where she spearheaded Lake Covering's fashion show in the spring of 2008, which was in memory of Faculty of Vascular Complications and DVTs. Katharine relocated to Washington, D.C. in 2011 and transitioned into interior design and started her own interior design and sewing business 3 years ago. Good job, Katharine. And let's see, what else does it say here? With the design business and background, she now works for the National Association for Home Care and Hospice, researching, developing, and designing their educational programming for national conferences. So with that, Kat is here to tell her story. I think it's a pretty interesting one, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. I'm really nervous, so give me a couple minutes to get into this. But before I say anything, I want to thank Melanie, who has been so instrumental to, I think, everybody in orchestrating this and continuing it. And Melanie, where are you? Are you here?
She's actually on for dinner.
She's a miracle woman. I love her. I think we all do. And just thanks to her. Thank you, Melissa. So some of you, I think, know or saw that I ran the half marathon in Pittsburgh in May, which was pretty cool, and it got me thinking that it would be really fun and cool to come up with some sort of fundraising event. Maybe we can have Medi or Juzo sponsor it, but do something not only to raise awareness, but money, get together, do something fun and active and healthy. And if anybody's interested, please come find me. Yay! We'll figure out some way to get ideas together and figure it out. I don't know, it's just an amorphous blob of an idea. But I think it could be really cool, especially if we have lots of different people with lots of different ideas going into the greater goal. But in taking a break from running, I started swimming at a pool across the street from my work. It's free, which is awesome. And so I wanted to share a story with you guys about something that happened a couple of weeks ago. It's a story that I really wanted to share with you guys, and I apologize if my cue card seemed disingenuous, but I was afraid that my nervousness was going to prevent me from maintaining a train of thought, so hopefully that's okay with you guys. So I had just finished to swim. I was in the locker room and this woman said, "Hey, how did you hurt yourself? What did you do? I have an injury and now I wear one of those too." And at first I thought she was referring to this massive bruise on my hip. But I realized, of course, she was talking about my leg. And I said, "Nothing, I didn't. I have a vascular problem." And I was struggling in a lot of departments at this point. I swam for an hour and a half. I haven't had coffee. I don't know who this person is. And I'm like, which explanation am I going to pull out to kind of finish my answer? But she was really excited. And she said, "But what do you do in the summer? How do you cover it up? Do you just wear a lot of maxi dresses?" And I was with it enough at this point to have shock starting to register through my foggy, waterlogged brain. And I kind of said, "Nothing, no, I don't, you gotta get over it." And then I thought, oh my gosh, I just said that out loud. Let's take two, reapproach, but she left. And after I left the pool, I realized that there were two assumptions inherent in her comments. One, that I had to have been hurt and a victim, And 2, that if I were in my right mind, I would feel ashamed and embarrassed like her. But my instinctive emotional response was, I'm not hurt, I'm not a victim, I don't wallow in embarrassment and shame, and if you're smart, you won't either. Why should I be meant to feel ashamed? Why should I feel like I need to live a lesser life in a futile attempt to hide the inevitable? I don't. Maxi dresses? Are you nuts? I love my short shorts. Seriously, lady, humbug, please get a life. And like all of that happened really fast, and I realized that that was a much more forceful reaction than I thought I was capable of. It didn't occur to her that I might not be in the same place in coming to grips with things as she was. And I want to apologize to her the next time I see her for my stilted response. And I want to be gracious in telling her that negative mentalities like hers perpetuate a totally unnecessary shame. And it can be really difficult to escape. But thinking seriously, shame of what? How has that become the token expectation? Getting over it is the only solution. And although I've known that for a long time, this was really the first instance where that felt organic and not prescribed. And I realized that I have come to the point where I know how to not feel bad anymore. And what's made me feel bad for so much of my life wasn't anything remotely having to do with KT. It was how I chose to perceive a selection of comments and allowed them to affect me. Why is it easy for us to shrug off a comment about a messy ponytail, but difficult to shrug off a comment about the manifestations of KT? If we've already bought into this shame, then that's when it hurts. If we let these so-called vulnerabilities define us, then that gives them meaning. But ultimately, the buying into this shame is up to us. The choice to care or not is up to us. And I realize that I can draw the line now. I can see the difference between the reality and the story that is a fabrication of this buy-in shame. I finally saw this from the other side because I felt opposite of a like to her in that moment. Having KT is real, but it is not our story, and we should become so many more things. I realized also that I don't owe an explanation about my leg to anybody, and I should never have to scramble to provide one. We don't owe resolutions to the curiosities of others at the cost of ourselves. We should never have to justify why we wear a stocking or why we might not feel bad about it for that matter. And I was so happy that day that my instinct rebuffed being put into a box. I was proud that I felt the opposite of ashamed and embarrassed and lesser. What I could say I do owe that lady is the perspective that not everybody feels that burden of negativity. And I know so because I'm one of them. It is doable with time and effort and focus on other goals in life. I am happier when I choose not to care. And she's eligible for that, to feel that way too. And in the few weeks, it's probably been a month now, since the emergence of what I'm calling Cat 2.0, life has been pretty sweet. It's easier for me to approach challenge at work. I'm more creative in my problem solving. my social life and my personal life, they're better because I'm more confident. It's smooth. I don't worry about things. I have an uninterrupted drive now. It's like discovering that I belong to the wizarding world and I'm not a muggle anymore. And I don't think about what responses I'm going to give to the comments I think I'm going to get standing in line with groceries at Trader Joe's. I wanted to share this story with you, and it's really wonderful to be here. Thank you.